Lenders are cutting home loan rates ahead of expected RBA interest rate cut. Good morning, everyone. It's me from the news team. Hope you're all well. So, we got some really good news overnight. Lenders are cutting home loan rates ahead of the expected RBA interest rate cut this Tuesday. Now, the Big Four banks have all announced reductions in their variable mortgage rates following the lead of smaller lenders who began cutting rates last week after the RBA's most recent meeting minutes suggested that there could be a pause in the cash rate rises. And that's what we're expecting to see happen this Tuesday. The market is pricing in a 25 basis point reduction with another 25 basis point reduction in June and July. Now, Westpac has led the way with a 10 basis point reduction to its standard variable mortgage rate, which will take effect from Monday. The other banks are yet to announce any changes to their mortgage rates, but ANZ, CBA and NAB all cut their rates by 10 basis points last week. In line with market expectations, however, the banks have increased their deposit rates by between 10 and 30 basis points. So, if you do have money to deposit, it might be worth shopping around for a better rate. Looking at the housing market, there are early signs that the downturn in housing values may be bottoming out. According to CoreLogic's head of research Tim Lawless, the national decline in housing values has eased to just 0.2% in the month of April, which is the smallest monthly fall since September last year. The largest falls were in regions where prices rose the most during the pandemic, such as in Brisbane and the Northern Territory. On the flip side, the least affected areas were regional New South Wales and Tasmania, which saw modest price increases in April. Now, in terms of how long these low interest rates will persist, it really depends on what happens with inflation. If it remains sticky, the RBA may need to keep rates higher for longer. However, if inflation starts to fall more rapidly, we could see a further 25 basis point reductions in August and September. Now, the RBA is also looking beyond interest rates to other tools that they can use to control inflation. They very recently increased the bank's reserve requirement for all banks by 100 basis points to 6%, which will reduce the amount of money that banks have available to lend, therefore putting upward pressure on interest rates. The RBA is also working closely with the federal government to try and limit wage rises, which contribute significantly to inflation. So, if you haven't watched my video on the new proposed laws to limit wage rises to 2%, you might want to check it out. Anyway, that's all from me. Have a great day and I'll catch you later. Bye.